Welcome everyone to San Diego Prehistoric Sea Life Center.
Hello and welcome back to Triclaw Gaming with me, Fletcher.
And welcome to another park tour. And for this particular tour, I thought I'd take you around my newest finished Sandbox, heavily modded Sandbox park, San Diego Sea Life. San Diego Prehistoric Sea Life Center. However, before we get going around the park and on the tour, don't forget, if you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing and commenting on the video with your thoughts about this Sandbox park, and subscribing and ringing the bell obviously for further videos from all of us at Triclaw Gaming. So, this park has been a long time coming. It's been one of the parks I've been constructing for the longest time, and actually I wasn't able to completely finish it, and I'll explain why after the tour, but let's start. So this is the entrance avenue, as you might want to call it. We have the main entranceway there, connected to San Diego City by underground train, and we have this central avenue with this lush foliage in the middle, and basic buildings on either side, so basic amenity buildings, shops, food and drink. I think what we'll do is we'll go round this side of the avenue first. So we've also got bathrooms over here, and this area leads around to this little decorative fountain spot on the other side. So this is quite a big toilet complex. There's 4 bathrooms positioned together, as you can see, and if you're careful with your positioning, you can get them to almost look like they should be connected. We've got taking full use of the new decorations there for a little fountain area with the pterosaurs, and we got a little bit of a garden. And let's just quickly drop back round to the other side so we can have a look at what's on the other side. This is the more interesting side, I think. So we've got obviously the shop here and this little seating area outside of it. But this particular section leads to the first of the viewing galleries. I'm just going to pop in. Can we there we go. And inside these viewing galleries we have a nice view of the enclosure here, which is the Allura Titan and Amargasaurus enclosure. And they do have Lux mods. So what I'll do is I'll surround the park in the daytime, and then I'll switch it to nighttime, and I'll just do a quick montage of some nighttime places. But yeah, we've got double galleries here, and then this open section I've actually turned into a garden. So it connects to both sides of the avenue. We've just got a nice little central display here, and if we go through this sort of hidden path through all the vegetation here, the elephant grass, the flowers, the trees, we've got a nice little Spinosaurus sort of statue at the end, and I imagine this would be like a perfect photo opportunity, something like that. Also over on this side of this particular entrance avenue, you've got obviously this low fence, and again you can peer over and have a look at the dinosaurs inside. Gotta love those lens flares. So continuing back along here, this connects to this central roundabout. I just want to quickly run back around here though. So we've got this lovely seating area next to the garden, with this with its own sort of garden here as well, with flowers and cacti, and plenty of seating around this water fountain with an obelisk in the middle. This looks great in the dark. And this is also another exhibit. Can we Can we enter? Thank you. And of course, this is the Megalosaurus exhibit. And I think there are 4 or 3 Megalosaurus in here with what I call the Jaffa Cake skin, which is like a black top and an orange body. Yeah, nice. Let's quickly pop out. So this is the sort of entrance, but this is what I would consider the entrance proper, is this central circular roundabout with a monorail architecture and this open pond area thanks to Kyodenic and his lagoon mods. And we've got a Jurassic Park gate there with some Spinosaurus in here. And again, this looks beautiful in the dark. I think what we'll do is we'll head round to the right to begin with, because here we have an excellent view of the Olorotitan and Amargasaurus enclosure. Now the Olorotitan and Amargasaurus enclosure, we have males with the Lux patterns, so the brighter striped Olorotitan and Amargasaurus are the males, and the duller patterns are the females. So that's what I'm going for in this particular enclosure. Moving around, I love these beautiful orange oaks that again Kyodenic's mod has allowed us to use. And we've got like a Spinosaurus coming at the crowd there. And then we have this section. So it's difficult to see from this level, but this is actually symmetrical on both sides. There are 2 sort of wings. So the right hand side and the left hand side wings are entirely symmetrical. And you have this central avenue that leads all the way up to the amphitheatre. So let's stay with being on the right hand side. So we've got a little seating area here. And then we have a block of amenity structures. So you have food, shopping, and drink. The food and drink areas have upstairs seating. And it's exactly the same on the other side, as you can see. And at the end of each wing, we have 2 little gardens and some more toilets. And then each wing connects onto a lagoon and onto a exhibit. So here we have access to the open air Olorotitan and Amargasaurus enclosure. And it's a lot better. You can see a lot more of it from this open air one. You can see a lot more of the dinosaurs from here. And I think it just adds for a better experience. And obviously, in real life, you would just head down to the lower level and you'd be able to watch them from this level. However, as you can see, the blue filter for the lagoons is something actually tied to this structure. So it does look a bit strange, but you get the gist. And from the outside, it looks perfectly normal. Yeah, so that's their particular exhibit. It's a multi-level exhibit, so you've got a lower level and an upper level, and we've got some nice little rock features and stuff like that. Remaining on this side, and just popping around here, you've got this ending little decorative touch with the cages, and it goes no further. This is in theory the end of this particular wing as it heads down to the lagoon that this one attaches to. So this is the lower level viewing area for this lagoon structure here. Now all the lagoons are also the same size and symmetrical, and there are 3 lower level viewing galleries here. So let's just head into this one. And as you can see, these are the aviary galleries, and they do work quite well underwater, I find. There is one of the ichthyosaurus that are in here. I think there's 6 or 8. I can't remember what patterns they have, but there are ichthyosaurs in here. Oh, there you go. There's some more of them showing up. Lovely. Well timed, folks. There we go. So this is the ichthyosaur lagoon. And let's quickly pop back up. As you can see, all of these side ramps are nice and sort of relaxed in that angle, so it's not particularly difficult for people to walk up and down. And you can see the height difference here just between the 2 levels. And if we go to the other wing side, we have exactly the same thing. We have a seating area, we have amenity structure blocks, garden blocks, toilet blocks, but this section is a little different. So obviously here we have the Megalosaurus enclosure on this side, and this is double fenced with the inner and the outer layer of fencing just for safety. Adds a nice touch. And we have another viewing gallery here for the Megalosaurus. Typical, they've all moved towards the other one. So there you go. There are 4 of them in here, and I think it's 3 males and 1 female. Yeah, they have a nice exhibit, and that little bit of path art there that is hidden by that tall oak tree there, I will hopefully be able to give you a better look at that through a different viewing structure. But there's something else over this side. Obviously we have the lagoon here, and let's go and have a quick look at the lower level lagoon past this past the little garden there, and head down to the lower level lagoon. So let's go for the furthest one along this time around. And inside of here we have the plesiosaurs. So I think again there's about 5 or 6 of them in here, the plesiosaurus. And I went with quite light skins so that they can be seen quite easily. They aren't, they're not quite in line for that one. Let's have a look in this one. Nope, can't see many from this one either. So plesiosaurus are not playing nice. However, if you can't see the plesiosaurs, then maybe you want to have a look at our other exhibit. Now, these 2 areas would have been garden areas. However, the park is unfortunately at its maximum piece count, and I can't put anything else without the park crashing on me, unfortunately. So it is a bit of a disappointment, and it's why the park was not able to be finished at the level I wanted it to be. And I think if I have a tip for anyone going forwards, if they want to create parks with high levels of mods, I would suggest building the pathways and building the enclosures and everything first, figuring out where you want decorations to be, but don't actually put anything in until the basics of the park is built, and then put the decorations in. Now, what is over here? Well, we have this building here, which is a combination of an amenity and one of Kyodenic's tunnels. We have a nice little seating area here. And the idea for me with this was that you actually take the tunnel. I don't think I can access this building, though. You go into this building, and this building is actually a sort of experience where you'd go around and sort of look at the... You'd go around and... Ooh, that's a bit bizarre, isn't it? I've accidentally phased into the building. Can I... I can enter this... I can actually get into this building now. So you'd enter into the main part of the building, and you'd do some, like, exploration of embryo creation and stuff, and then you'd take a tunnel. And then if I just switch to the not normal view, you can see this exhibit here on the end is a Camarasaurus exhibit. You right, boy? And you will actually view the exhibit from these 2 viewing areas, which are located on top of this artificial mountain, connected by a tunnel. Now, annoyingly, they're all out of position at the moment. You can't actually see them, but you get the idea. You'd see them, the Camarasaurus living in their habitat, and you've obviously got you've got invisible fences here to stop them escaping. Don't they look beautiful though? This is a modded Camarasaurus body, so you've got a bit better of a looking head, which I think is important. Now, the Central Avenue is a main part of the park. It's sort of where everything else is attached to, and so you've got these nice little sort of signage that I've created by combining a lagoon sign, two fountains, and adding some smaller vegetation to sort of look like they're little plants growing in there. And then you've got these other cacti gardens and such on either side. And then symmetrically you have this you have the open air and underwater exhibits for the plesiosaurus. Let's see if we can actually see them better from here. And we've got a couple. You can see one or two. And that's the same on the other side as well. With that one looking into the Ichthyosaurus. We have this sort of centralized obelisk demon summoning circle and fountain, mass fountain arrangement there, which then leads into viewing towers on either side. So if I just have a look at this viewing tower, there we go. So you can see we have a nice view of the lagoon itself and the this area of the park going forwards. Something I've also done in these triangular lagoons is to make sure there's something nice on the other end to look at. So there's the staff area, so you've got the command center, the command center's kind of observation tower, and staff accommodation. So here, overlooking the Ichthyosaurus lagoon, we have the ranger station and emergency helicopters and everything else. And obviously, if you were able to look in the back of the viewing tower, and I'll just quickly switch views, you'd see that you'd get a nice shot of this Ichthyosaurus path artwork on this cliffside here, where the Megalosaurus paddock is. This is obviously inspired by Evo and her wonderful path art structures. I tried to give it a kind of aboriginal tribal feel. I don't think it's worked. It's quite difficult to make an Ichthyosaurus out of the path, but I think it's a nice touch regardless, I think, for the park. Now let's switch ourselves back to ground view and continue going further into the park. So this is the next sort of roundabout area. We've got another fountain, some more signage, and some more viewing galleries for the lagoons. And then you have symmetrical seating areas on either side for the amenity buildings beyond. And these are actually, I think there's 3 amenity buildings in each mass. You've got a gift shop, a food place, and a drinks place combined with matching coloration. Everything in the park has this black, blue, and white coloration, just for a theme. And every seating area has the same decorations with the amber, the pterosaurs, the fountains, and the double obelisks. This is probably the sort of thing that's ended up with me getting maximum piece count. I'll have to think about how to reduce my piece counts in future. And that is a problem that everyone is going to face on Prehistoric Kingdom as well. And then from here, we just basically have the amphitheatre. So I've kind of put in lots of trees and water around the amphitheatre just for that lagoon feel. And I think what we'll do is we'll head around to the left this time so we can have a look at the command area. So again, passing this naturally planted garden. So this is the little path that leads into the staff zone through this gate. Now obviously this gate would be locked at all times, so you'd have to have a code to get in here. And then you have the command center. with a bit of an obelisk feature there, which obviously you'd see from the tower over there. So it's just a nice little design touch. And there was a bit of a gap between the staff accommodation and the command center, so I filled it with just some tall trees of various colors. And on the other side we have a similar sort of system. So past these water features and gardens. And this one goes to the ranger posts, obviously. So we've got I think this is actually a combination of buildings. So this is the expedition center. Yeah, I think it's an expedition center, a staff, a Jurassic Park era staff area, and a ranger post combined together to create this larger looking sort of structure, which I think really suits. And we're going to continue around to the right hand side past the amphitheater, which in this particular park I would probably have the amphitheater as a hotel or large attraction with various stuff inside of it. But let's just continue around. So we've just got some open water there with natural foliage. And then we have these little shop areas, amenity areas, just for guest satisfaction and more gardens. We'll continue going that way after I've been around the rest of the park. This is where we drop down and we have access to the viewing areas for the central lagoon that fills up the amphitheater. And it's again the same on either side, so you have the fountains, you have the seating areas, different path colours, you have the trees, and you have the lower galleries. Let's see if we can spot our prime attractions inside. Doesn't look like it. Looks like our prime attractions are hiding, and we'll go and find them in a second. And this area, I'll explain what this is for in a minute. But again, this is the same on this side. You have this lower zone. Now on this side, the lower zone leads to a further lagoon. But we'll stick with this central amphitheater area first. And what I'm going to do is actually snap out of first person views to show you what I've done here. So this is what the amphitheater has been turned into. It's this colossal Kronosaurus lagoon. And it's actually an entire sort of district of its own. You can see the symmetrical nature of the pathwork around it. And it ends in this tunnel entrance here, which is connected to this viewing gallery here on these feeders. And the idea is obviously when these feeders are active, the Kronosaurus will come and feed from those two particular feeders, or will come and feed from these shark feeders in here if you want the show to be inside of the amphitheater. I've surrounded this one with some nice touches. And we have, I think there are 4 Kronosaurus in here, 2 male, 2 female. These I believe are the females. They have the white outlines on the black. And I believe that the males are sort of Liplorodon coloration. So the males have fully white striping on the backs, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch carnivore requirements on so that we can activate the feeders. I think they might actually need to be refilled. Yes, they do. So I'm going to quickly refill the feeders, turn requirements for carnivores to eat on, and then we're going to see what we can see from the little viewing houses. So back in a second, folks.
A few moments later.
And here we are. So, this is the viewing hide that is attached to the feeders. And I believe there is a Kronosaurus on the way, so we might need to wait a minute just to see if it does come. We've got a good view of both feeders, so hopefully we'll catch it as it arrives. And obviously inside of here you'd have people giving guest speeches or lectures about the chrono. But I just think thanks to Kyodenic's mod and these hides, it just gives us the opportunity to get closer to the dinosaurs and the other animals in the park, which I think is all the better for it. Place your bets which side it's going to be, left or right. Ah, there we go. You've got him. He went for the right hand side. There we go. That was quite a good view, I think. Well, obviously the next one will go for the left, I would assume. So we'll just we'll keep our eyes on the left hand side, see if we can get that one. There we go. Gotcha. Nice. Nicely done, Chronosaurus. Thank you for that. So yeah, obviously that's the feeding display. Oh, and if we quickly just hop in here, you've also got the lovely underwater view of them as well. So, having watched the Chronosaurus, where do we move to next? Well, this area here and another lagoon. This one is special, so we have quite a lot of viewing galleries here overlooking the lagoon. We have a few amenities here with a bit of a different feel. I just want to focus on what I've done environmentally and decoratively before we look at the lagoon itself and why it's here. We've got a big gatehouse here, and my idea would be that this is sort of not another entrance or an exit, but this leads down to the private beach. So as members of the park, you'd have, or maybe as hotel members, you'd have access to this private beach, which would be lit up in the dark, and you can go down and enjoy the this little statuesque obelisk here, just to mark the beach out, and you can enjoy the sea, sand, and the sun before going back up into the park. But what is the point of this large and so many viewing galleries? Well, let's have a look inside. We can see here that this lagoon is actually enormous, and there is a central island to it. If I actually tab out, you can see just how large this lagoon actually is. It's a huge lagoon. And this is what I'm calling Camp Leopleurodon. This is what I would imagine something for the kids and families. You have a huge quantity of Leopleurodons in this surrounding space here, and a tunnel going from this bunker over here leads to this little island in the center, where you have viewing galleries which will look out into the Leopleurodon enclosures, as you can see. But what is truly special about this is that it's set up like a campsite. So if I just switch to first person view, so we've got this little statue here, but we've got tents. Now obviously these are the tents from the decorations that we received a short time ago, and we've got these lovely obelisks outlining each sort of tent area where you would stay as guests of the park. And you've got these decorative gardens. You've got a little toilet and shower facility. And this one on this side, I would imagine is a kind of sort of setup. You'd have this is like the restaurant or feeding or food mess hall area. Obviously, this is not what the building looks like from this level. It's a load of tires and such. But obviously, we are limited by what is available, and from above it serves its purpose. And obviously on this side we have some more tents, and then down here we have access to a another viewing area, and a Liplorodon. Now there are 4 special Liplorodons, 2 Lux Green and 2 Lux Yellow Liplorodon. And if I actually tab out, I think you might be able to just see them. Let's have a look and see if we can notice them. Yeah, there's one. There is the Lux Green Liplorodon. And there are yellow ones. I think that's one there. Yes, I think it might be. And obviously, in the darkness, they would show up a lot more. Like I say, I'll have a look around the park in the dark after I've done the tour in the light. But I just want to focus on, using these tent areas and these smaller building areas. You can create a fairly good-looking campsite. And it just adds a bit of extra interest to the park. Now, if we move back around, I'm not going to do this bit at ground level. Let's just show you this building here, so you can see here where you've got this is the expedition center here. This is the ranger station here, obviously, and then you've got the staff center built on. And if you're careful by phasing structures through one another, you can make it look like they're supposed to be together. And I've done the same, obviously, on the other side of this particular lagoon with this viewing tower. It's sort of connected onto the command center to overwatch the rest of the park. Now, from this level, you can see here that the path skews off, leading to this little avenue, fountain, and monorail. And then the monorail leads us over this water. This would be sort of an artificial waterfall, and over this artificial lake, through this Jurassic World sign. Should be Jurassic Park. Well, unfortunately, we don't have it in Jurassic Park. And we get some nice views of the park from this height. And then it stops here. Now, unfortunately, this is the edge of the park, which is not complete. And I couldn't complete it because of the piece count problem. And this is an issue. This is a major issue for the game, is that it does seem to have a very restrictive piece count problem. If you actually look at how much of the park has been built already, I say I've only built around 50 to 60% of the park. The rest of this should have been 4 lagoons, another hotel area, and four lagoons. In the end, I was only able to put in 2 lagoons, and I was barely able to decorate anything of the surrounding area. So what is my idea then for what this would be? Well, this is obviously a water park area. So you've got artificial islands where people would be able to go on and explore. You've got this path art Liplorodon in the middle, which I'm especially proud of. I do love that path art Liplorodon. It's actually got height and texture to it. And I suppose what you could call this like the quiet private area of the park. Maybe you'd have to pay a little extra to get here. Let's just zoom down to a lower level. And so you've got this simple sort of roundabout with some decorative statues and waterworks. I've used the electric poles, just to give a bit of difference and a bit of fake sort of wow factor. Some seating areas, fountain obviously, and this lagoon here. Now obviously these would be there would be vegetation and stuff for these, lining the edge of the water sources where you'd have kayaking and stuff. These are, however, overlooking this lagoon. And in here I believe are 3 Elasmosaurus, if I'm correct. No, can't see from there. Let's see if I can see them from these ones over here. Oh, I can see one on the surface. Let's just pop underneath. There you go. three Elasmosaurus there. In their quite big enclosure, I have to say. And then following on around the rest of this area, we drop down again. And this is another hint or tip I would suggest if you're wanting to make good looking parks. Have some height difference in your parks. Make sure that it's not all flat and on the one level. So you've got some seating areas, a couple of underwater viewing galleries, some planting, lots of obelisks around this park, as you can see. And this actually leads to a final lagoon, sort of foliage area, water area, swampy area. Nice little statue here. Fountains and seating areas again, amenities here. The electric poles just to give a bit of artificial fancy landscaping. My idea here with this particular set of water would be that it's perhaps not that you wouldn't be allowed to go into it. It'd have like fish, and it would be sort of like a natural habitat preserve. And then around at the end of this particular pathway, you have the hotel. Just the one, because I don't think you'd have too many people staying for a long period of time here. But you have the hotel. Do we get a nice view? We do get to see the view. It's not a particularly nice one. And inside this lagoon, I just pop in. As you can see on the surface, we have Tylosaurus, but not the Tylosaurus you might imagine. These are obviously the Jurassic Park, the game Tylosaurus. And I just, whoa, that one was close. And I just prefer them. I think the base game Jurassic World Evolution 2 Tylosaurus just is kind of a bit too dull. But these ones are so much more impressive and chunky, and they look so much more monstrous, and I love it. There we go, coming straight for us. Look at them, beautiful. This is obviously a mod. I wish it had been part of the game, and if I had been doing Chaos Theory modes, I would have had this as sort of a reward for the Jurassic Park 1 Chaos Theory. And I'll actually put a card up in the top corner linking you to my video about what I would have done for the Chaos Theory modes as well, because I think that's a cool video and I'd like to see what people find out or have to say about it. And let's just pop out for a quick overview. So it's a bit easier to see the whole park from this particular position. The Tylosaurus in there. I think I've probably put a bit too many Tylos in there, but oh well. You can see how symmetrical the park is. So you've got the two wings, as it were, the central avenue going down the middle. Symmetry makes for a good looking park, as does tidy paving and tidy fencing. You can see there's no spaghetti paths here, apart from sort of the links down to the lower level, but that's okay for doing it for something like that. There's no sort of crazy paving going on. And you've got the path art, Liperodon and Ichthy. So what I'm going to do now is switch the park to nighttime, just so that we can have a quick look around the park in the dark. And here is the park in the dark. And you can see I've gone for this warm orange lighting on all the amenity buildings, so it's not too garish. And what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look around. It won't take too long. You can see here that the pterosaurs make really nice sort of silhouettes against the lighting of the fountains and the amber. And if I just quickly race through this area, I think I've done something in the garden, the Spino. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, so what I've done with the Spino is put tried to put it in with as many rocks as possible so it just gives it the backdrop with the lighting that's already part of the statue. But we don't care about that. We want to see glowing dinosaurs, don't we? So let's have a look over the fence. And there we have it. The Allura Titans there with cantaloupe melon skins is what I've called them. And don't they look lovely? Let's quickly have a run round to the other side. Look at that. That's our beautiful view, central roundabout. And there we go. That's a bit of a better view, isn't it? The two Allura Titans over there with the orange stripes and green crests. And just down there, looking like a Nuka-Cola quantum monster from Fallout 4, is our Amargasaurus. I wonder where the other Amargasaurus are, because there's quite a few of them in. They must be at the top end of the park. But there they are. Let's quickly pop in here so we can get a better view. There we go. And there's the Amargasaurus with this brilliant blue Nuka-Cola quantum stripes and purple horns. And the Allura Titan with the lovely orange stripes and the green crests. These two particular mods from Baryonyx, a member of the Triclaw community who let me have a play around with these particular mods before anyone else did, so I want to say thank you to Baryonyx for that. And I love having these particular Lux mods. And let's just quickly race around the rest of the park. So this entrance roundabout I think looks even better in the dark with the monorail lights and the lighting on the gates and the Spinosaurus skeletons. Looks brilliant. And obviously on the wings you have the amenities with their lovely orange lighting. Nothing too much of significance about the Megalosaurus enclosure. It's more simple than that. Nice little lighting touch on the cages there. And it's the same thing over with the Camarasaurus enclosure. It's not got much new improved lighting thanks to the darkness or anything. So the central avenue is the real big show of force within the dark. Just makes everything pop out a lot more, especially the viewing towers and the demon summoning circle here. I'm sure we won't need to sacrifice too many of you to keep the gods of the sea happy. He sounds like he's joking, but I might be serious. And obviously, if I just quickly pop into this viewing tower actually. Oh. And obviously you get a nice, better view of the park in the dark here, including that wonderful command center over there. So let's continue moving onwards with the amphitheater. And we'll swing round to the right hand side. This is all fairly simple on this side because it doesn't need to be complicated. Seating area at this end, amenities here. And diving down around the Chronosaurus lagoon. We got the nice lighting going on here with the fountains and the amber. And the viewing galleries here. Same with the amenity blocks here and the fountains here. I just want to quickly have a look at this path, so you can see here that this path is lit up by little lights, which I think is a nice touch for a little beach pathway leading all the way down there. But the big thing I want to have a look at is inside Camp Liopleurodon. And you can see here it's a lot clearer where we've got one glowing Liopleurodon, another glowing Liopleurodon, and the other two glowing Liopleurodon. I'll just have a quick. Now these are the work of Barry. I would say the Liopleurodon ones are perhaps not as great as the others. I like them just because I like Liopleurodon, and I think the green one especially Just looks like it's no, it isn't the green one, it's the other yellow one. Looked green, didn't it? I just think that they look great as so bright and colourful as they are. And it's the only sort of super excessive ones I've allowed in the park. Let's just have a quick look at the green ones. Like something out of Fallout 4 again. Very bright, very distinctive. But considering this is a sort of child's camp like Pleurodon, no Camp Cretaceous here, Camp like Pleurodon only, I think it works. And obviously the campsite looks great in the dark as well, with the obelisks giving natural illumination and the restaurant and everything. And then obviously let's see if we can get a nice show in the amphitheater again, shall we? So what I've done is I've set the Kronosaurus to need feeding again, and we'll take a look at the view from this side of the enclosure as well, the amphitheater side. So like I said, I think in this particular park, the amphitheater would be home to sort of an indoor aquarium, maybe a museum or hotel, I'm not sure, but probably something more like an indoor aquarium with, say, you'd probably have viewing gallery sort of glass all around the bottom edge of this particular structure. Maybe some smaller fish tanks inside with prehistoric fish or modern day fish, whatever. And then you'd have the feeding shows, and we can already see one Kronosaurus, two Kronosaurus popping in. Hopefully we'll get a good view of them when they want to come and eat. Let's just leave the camera there so we can get a nice view. Oh, double Kronosaurus. There we go. Lovely. Perfect. We got a double Kronosaurus. That's wonderful. Love it. In goes the other half of the sharks. Ready for the next two Kronosaurus, I imagine. Wonderful. And we'll just have a quick look over here at the other parts of the park, the elasmosaurs and tylosaurs. It's all pretty average stuff. I like using the obelisks to create light to give you a nice backdrop on the Spinosaurus. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So there is the park back in daylight conditions. So yeah, as I was saying, this was only half done. This was another attempt at the lagoon park using full mods. I've already done one version of this lagoon park, as you might have already seen. It's not perfect. I would have preferred to get all of the lagoon species in. So maybe I might give a lagoon park another go. Perhaps on a different map, I don't know. But let me know down in the comments what you think about this lagoon park, the San Diego Prehistoric Sea Life Center. And if I've given you any inspiration for park building of your own, do let me know in the comments. I love to see other people's work. So if you haven't already, do consider joining the Discord to share your own dinosaur parks. And there will be more dinosaur park tours from me on the channel once I've finished parks. This is my longest one that was ongoing. The other parks I think we're not gonna take as long, hopefully. I went a bit overboard with the decoration here, probably why I was only able to get half the park finished. But yeah. I hope you enjoy this. Evo, if you do happen to watch this, I hope you like the path arts. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.